is true, an offer has been placed. If you're here for my usual content, come back tomorrow because today's video was requested by many. Today's video is a real talk. Flashback to 2004. I don't have a photo of 2004, but here's a photo of me in 2006. On the 24th of December 2004, I moved here. I went to school here and pretty much grew up here. But no, before I lived here, I lived in Portsmouth. You know the Pride event that I keep missing every year? Yeah, that town. If we skip a few years to 2013, my grandmother died. This is what I look like. This was the first time we even considered as a family to move house. Later that year, we put the house up for sale for the first time. Within one day, we got offered the entirety of the asking price. As a family, we found a house, we put an offer in, and then we got to the adult stuff. We hired a surveyor, they said the house was awful, they said it's gonna collapse. We decided not to move. We're out of biscuits. This should be enough. I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to these things, but nah. There are a lot of pros and cons when it comes to moving. And in this particular case, I'm more for the move. That's the short answer. Let me expand. Now the first positive is that there's a lot more opportunities in the new location. Like it's a town, not a village in the middle of nowhere. We're talking about proper commercial shops instead of the one-off family shop that we currently have. As well as that, there's going to be clubs, activities, busyness, a lot of that sort of thing. And if you've been a long-time viewer of this show, you'll know that the only time that I really go outside is when I'm going to Sainsbury's. There is no Sainsbury's in the new area. In short, no more drench, no more sticky labels, no more cheap meal deals, no more skateboarding to the village. There is no Sainsbury's. But it does mean that we would live closer to the shops. Where we live now, it's pretty much impossible to get a weekly shop in, get home, without like ice cream melting. It's impossible. We usually have to get ice cream there and then on the day when we want it. It means getting into the car, driving away, getting it, and coming back in the car, and then eating it. That was a really weird explanation. But all of the shops are commercialized, so there is no individual like fruit shop. There is no individual veg shop. There is no individual butcher. Like there's Waitrose, 99p stores, no independent shops. That's what I'm trying to say. Now another benefit is the fact there's going to be buses and trains. As of where I live, one bus comes every hour, only in the summer holidays. That's how rural I live. Now we do have a train station that goes straight to London, but the new place we have to go from the new location to where I live now to London. It means we have to swap trains once. Not really a big deal, but that means I can pretty much go anywhere by train whenever. Compared to where I live now to the station, that's quite a long distance. As with the new place, it's fairly close to the station. Like, it's walking distance. Easy walking distance. With the new transport being there, it does come with some issues. No more space hopper. It's impossible to skateboard in this new place. The roads are really bad, and it's all hilly. I would literally die on a skateboard. There are skate parks nearby, but the whole idea of me skateboarding was because of transport, not for fun. I lightly covered it yesterday. I covered it lightly that I wouldn't have my studio that I've been planning for some time now, and that I would be downsizing dramatically. When I say dramatically, I mean more dramatic than my vlogs. Yes, that's how bad it is. However, there would be space for a new studio. That's really like counter of everything that I've been saying just now. There is a huge potential for the best setup ever. Like, amazing. Like, something my 12-year-old self would dream of. But now, like, not really, like, what I want, but, like, it would do kind of thing. That probably sounds really bad of me, but, like, no, like, I would like it, but, like, it's not 100%, like, I've kind of wanted exactly what I wanted now, but, like, it would do. Is that sounding like I don't like the point because I do like that point? I'm not making any sense, am I? But the last best thing about this move is that I would have a better social life. I would be able to get friends that live near where I live. I would be able to invite people round like on that day and they would would be able to come. As of right now, if I invite people around, they're like, where do you live? Where's that? What is it called? Like, what happens if I bump into a pig? Is there cows? What time are the horses out? What I'm trying to say, no one lives near where I live. I've been the only kid in my village for as long as I can remember. And for once, I would be able to have friends who are actually friends, who like live on my road or whatever. That is something that I've just always wanted, like as friends, but you know. Guess who's getting emotional again? But for every good thing, there is, of course, a counter. As it is a bigger area, a more multicultural, diverse environment, I'm gonna get a lot more hate. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, living where I've lived for my entire life, everyone was used to me being trans, and within like a year, everyone just accepted it. Now, I've experienced my fair share of transphobic hate in my life, so I'm not really worried about that. But with it being so big, I am worried about people's view of the vlog. Now, the place isn't like New York, where it's probably impossible to meet someone you know. And I'm not saying it's like where I live currently, where you know everyone's name, everyone's address, everyone's job. It's kind of more on the New York sort of scale, compared to where I live now. But yeah, that's kind of it. The things that I can say is that an offer has been placed. There is a photographer coming first thing tomorrow. The house is going to stay on the market even if we don't get the house that we looked at. We are definitely going to be moving house within the next 5 years. And when I say 5 years, I mean that's on a wide term. Like, I don't see us living here for 5 more years. But like, it could be like 2 months or whatever. Just 5 years. Does that make sense? And it was in this room where the YouTube channel journey began. It was this room that started this. This is where little 5-year-old me grew up. This is where I made my first video ever. Even though I'm all for the move, it's gonna be sad to say goodbye. I made that when I was 11. I got that on 3 months on Blockers. And this is something I got when I was born. This was my first ever rucksack. And this is where I kept all of my toys. But I personally feel it is time for me to move on and to move house to be a certain thing.
Bye bye, see you